Class, on days when you choose to paint, you will be visiting the painting studio. This is where we keep all of the painting supplies that you need when you are painting. First of all, if you look at the painting setup menu on the wall, it shows you all the materials that you need when you're going to paint. An apron, if you're wearing clothes that you do not want to get paint on, definitely wear an apron, even if you're planning to be careful, someone else might not be. You need a water cup that's half full of water, paint, a palette if you're planning on mixing colors, paper towel, brushes, and paper. So first of all, the paper is located on the paper cart. So let me show you where the painting paper is. If you look at the paper cart, you can see that the boxes are labeled with what the purpose is for each paper. So on top is the drawing paper, and on the lower shelf is the painting paper. It's important that you use painting paper when you paint because the drawing paper just usually doesn't stand up very well to getting wet. It gets very floppy and transparent and sometimes even falls apart. So always make sure that you're getting the paint from the lower shelf that says where it says painting paper. After you get your paper, the first thing you need to do is put your name on it. So if you don't want your name on your picture, then write it in pencil on the back. Next, we start gathering supplies. Water is a good idea to start with because you want to carry it all by itself. So when you're getting water, you get 1 cup. Make sure you're not getting 2 or 3 stacked together. Go over here to where it says water buckets. They're under the table, and we see the sign shows us which side is clean water and which side is dirty water. So you carefully dip your cup into the clean water. If it's too full, pour a little bit back, but it should be about half full when you're finished. Then you carry that 1 cup of water to your table all by itself, and then we go back for more supplies. So the next choice is which kind of paint you're going to use. Right now we have watercolors and tempera cakes. So this box is all watercolors. This box, these are all tempera cakes. Now don't be fooled by the lid. Sometimes the lids are very messy, but the paint underneath is not as messy. And even if it's messy, if you ask, I can show you how to clean up the colors. Whenever you're carrying paint, always carry it with the lid on top. Don't carry it sideways like this, yikes, or upside down like that, oh no. Because if there's wet paint inside, it will run out of the colors, out of its pans, and make a big mess. Now this is the beginning of the day, so these colors should still be dry inside. Also, when you open a set, if you see that the middle is empty, that does not mean that you're out of that color. It just means the middle is empty. As long as you can see the color, there's plenty of paint around the edges to use. You just need to put a few drops of water in there and it will soak up the paint from the edges and you'll be ready to paint. So you take your paint, whichever paint you choose, you take that to your table. You always want a piece of paper towel for cleaning your brush when you are getting ready to wash it. The brushes are right here, and there's lots of different kinds. We have the green brushes that are good for painting lines, painting details, and we have the red flat brushes that are good for covering large areas on the paper. You do not want a red brush if you're painting lines. They just don't do very well for lines. When you go to put your brushes away, you need to push the handle down into the cup, just like I did there. And then we have our palettes. Palettes are really handy. Sometimes they look messy, but you can usually find at least some spots that haven't been used where you can mix colors. The aprons are located way over here in the floor in the box, and you see how they are all in the box, not laying on the floor around the box. So it is important when you clean up that you fold up your apron and you put it in the correct box. In the box correctly. Sorry. Okay, so that's how we get our supplies. We carry everything carefully to our table. On cleanup, we take, if you've used a palette, you take your paper towel and wipe out any wet paint that might be in your palette before you put it away. Pour out your water cup into the dirty bucket and then replace your cups here in the basket. Make sure you're returning the paints to the correct spot where you got it, right side up. And the very important job of putting our brushes away, we always want to hold them right up here and push the handle down into the cup so the bristles are sticking up in the air. Our brushes are not getting yucky and smashed and dirty, but they are able to stick up in the air to dry. And the brushes are down in the bucket so they're not falling out on the floor. So that is how we use our painting studio.